Welcome into a Sunday night pop blender, Unfiltered number 71. I hope you guys are doing good. Had a good weekend for all of you. Mine consisted of work and rain and a crazy little image I'm going to show you guys here in a few minutes, but I hope everybody's doing fantastic. We are going to get into the physical media issue and our corporate overlords and where that's going to lead to. And I think we all know where that's going to lead to, but I think we hold out hope for where that won't lead to. But as with everything, time marches on and things change. So we're going to get into that a little bit. And then on the back end, I'll kind of tie that into some stuff. And then on the back end, some shitty practices by another company that is doing things to people's channels and social media. And we've seen this happen before a few years ago. And we're going to see it play out again. Or we're seeing it play out again. But I'll bring that up here in a little while. But we'll get into it and maybe have a couple funny videos in between. Who knows? I save all kinds of wacky shit. Disc by disc, 13th Assassin, you are correct. Fight it all you want, but there are some byproducts of this issue that are going to begin to crop up if they haven't already. So we're going to get into it. However, I would be remiss if I did not introduce the one and only, the best and the brightest. Hang on. There he is. Otis McDonald and the band. He's cruising. Ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, StreamYard updating some shit here. We got a little fake wave file now. For those of you that use it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Thank you, Otis. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been wondering all this time, what does Otis McDonald look like? Well, I'm going to show you. It's taken 71 episodes to get a feel, get a look at the man, the myth, and the legend. And I do have one Otis McDonald. And here you go. Otis, this was you at your absolute worst, but you played damn good music. I'm sorry, Otis. I had to play it. I'm sorry. I know that was you at your worst, at your lowest point, Otis. But I wanted the people to see what you look like and really what your beautiful singing voice is all about. Without the magnificent backup singers, the big bootied bitches. That's right, bitches. Let's go. I'm so stupid. They said I had street smarts. I don't know what that means. Anyway, hope you guys are doing good. Yes, the hawk cannot stop. The egregious smoker. The nastier of nicotine. What's another one? I feel like Apollo Creed. You know, the master of disaster. The doesn't care about children. Ladies and gentlemen, Pop Blender. Holy shit. All right, so let's say hello to a few people like Stanley Everhard Jr. the Third, who sent me a message earlier about the Joe Fest rooms that are already up, right? You can get that convention rate, or at the very least get a rate. It's cheap as hell. Go back, ask for the convention rate. But they are up and available. Usually don't have to start worrying about those selling out till somewhere around January, February. But if you want to get on that, go ahead and get on that train. And Big Brother live feeds. I got to tell you, Stanley, I'm a little concerned for you, brother. The Big Brother live feeds, I'll tell you what I'd like to see. I'd like to see the Big Brother uncensored live feeds. That would be a treat. Uh, Cage's Customs, otherwise the lovely, talented, magical, and mysterious Johnny Reno is in the house. What's up, Johnny? I got to get some stickers out to you guys, too, like Joe Fan, Johnny, anybody else that wants one. I'll make a note of it tonight. But I've got to get some stamps, and I've got plenty of envelopes. But I got to get some stamps and get those out to you. Turk Murphy, how you doing, man? Good to see you, brother. Justin Booth is in the house. Justin? Joe Fan, there he is, popping up. Look, he says, I got Mr. S right here watching with me. Well, hopefully I did not run him off with my comment earlier about the backup singers. Please, at your own discretion, Joe Fan. I do not claim to be safe for work, so to speak, but you feel comfortable with what you feel comfortable, my friend. But this is a free-flowing stream, and you know that. But you're good people, man. You make that decision as you so choose. Star of Smoke, the Prince of Pall Mall, the Oligarch of Odor. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Poplender. Holy crap. Yeah, Panama City Beach tomorrow, Joe Fan. That sounds fantastic. I am jealous. And Panama's fun. Right, you don't have to be a teenager. You don't have to be a early 20s, or for some people I know in their late 30s, going to Joe Fest. You can go and have a good time, right? You know what to do. And all good, buddy. All good. Let's see here. It might be the stream for a children's or a non-smoker, or might not. Yes. Okay, I'm going to show you guys a picture that something that happened to me today, and I got home, and literally as soon as I walked in the door, I heard a very loud bang, just sound, not a gunshot, but it was a very loud bang. And so I was like, okay, well that was interesting. And so the power was out. The power was out, and I thought, okay, here we go. Across the street, it's unfortunate, but I have to show this image. This image may be disturbing for some of you, but this is something that flew into the transformer, and yeah, it's unfortunate. It happens. I thought it was an owl at first until I saw the rest of it. Look at the freaking claws on this thing. Holy moly. Yeah, General Ledger, exactly. General Ledger. But look at this hawk. I mean, these things are massive. And I'm sure some of y'all have them. I know Joe Fan down in Alabama. I'm sure you guys have them, like the good red tails maybe. Anyway, so yeah, this thing was massive, and it flew directly into a transformer. My neighbor was like, yeah, standing outside, and I saw it, and it just flew right into it. So how that happens, I don't know, but it took the power out. And then the power said, the company said, oh, it's going to be 10 o'clock p.m. Mind you, this was at like 5-ish, I don't know, 5 o'clock, 5:30, 5:15, something like that. So I'm like, oh, well, that's great. No stream tonight. And all of a sudden, about 45 minutes later, a truck shows up, flashing lights. They pull up, and then they leave. Power's still out. Okay, well, maybe they needed to go get some equipment, right? And about 5 minutes later, power came back on. So I have a feeling they had to go just throw a switch or something. I don't know. But anyway, so yes, that happened. I do have another picture for you guys. Now, here's the deal. I wanted to show you the video, but I'm afraid YouTube will not want me to show this video, so I will give you the story. I get a video from my son, HK Viper. How the heck are you? I get a video from my son, and it is him shooting a pistol in his backyard at home, 45 minutes away from me. And I'm like, okay. And so his mom's boyfriend keeps turning around to the camera, like every so often, like, you know, like this. And so I'm like, okay, I don't know what he's doing. Well, I will show you what he was doing. He was reacting to these images. That's right. There's my son. Nice Alabama hat with a Frank Sinatra t-shirt. And not bad. Not bad aim at all. Holy moly. Look at that. He's probably shot a gun 3 times in his life, maybe. Maybe more. He hasn't told me about it if that's the case. I kind of don't want to know, maybe. Not bad at all. Pretty darn good. Yeah, nice shooting, Tex. Whoa, 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 whoa. Nice shooting, Tex. We came, we saw, we kicked its ass. Nice. So, yeah, my son, quite the marksman. It seems like they did unplug it and plug it right back in, didn't they? Stanley says the BB live feeds, okay, Big Brother live feeds are uncensored of language. Oh, okay, yeah. And of course, yeah, rules, violations, whatever. They're not going to show the juicy stuff, Stanley. And what I mean by juicy, I think you know what I'm talking about. Juicy fruit. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, there's StreamYard acting all funky again. Justin Booth says nice groupings. Yeah, I mean, evidently, right? He knows what to do. Yeah, I meant to ask him. I could probably text him and ask him. You know what? Let's do it in real time, folks. It's not like we're on a time frame here. We can take our time, and we can do whatever the hell we want. So let me text him real quick and ask him what. Let's see. What caliber were you shooting? I know it's exciting to hear somebody spell out their messages. Okay. So anyway, let's see. Yeah, decent job. Not bad. Okay, so here's the deal. All right. I wasn't going to get into this, but I'm going to get into this a little bit. Because I'm sure you guys watch other streams, you hear other people joke around, and I've taken some digs recently. Not I've been giving digs, I've been taking digs recently on streams. And I don't care about digs. It's fun to dig a little bit at people. It's fun to kind of mess around and joke on people, right? For stupid shit and all that. But what happened at Joe Fest was really goofy. And if you're a smoker, most of you probably are a courteous smoker. You don't stand in a doorway. You don't sit, if there's kids walking up or there's, family, you might step out of the way. You might walk out of the way, right? I've had many instances where at work, I'm running outside, take a quick smoke break. I know all my regulars. I know all my people. But there are people that have come up that maybe have a new kid or whatever. I'll put my cigarette out or I'll stand way far away, right? Try to have a conversation with somebody. I'm not one of those people that's going to stand there and blow it in your face. I'm not going to light it up right in front of you. But when you have a group of grown men all hanging out, and it's a big party and there's 40 people hanging out in an area you've been in multiple times before that has no signage or anything like that, but at the same time, in the past, have been respectful. But usually, when there's a bunch of dudes from a convention hanging out, there's not many children, right? So yeah, I smoke. So fucking sue me. Does it smell? I guess it does. Are you allergic to it? I hope not. But if you are, I can't do anything about that. And if you don't tell me that, then I really can't do anything about that. On top of that, again, there's a lot of smokers at Joe Fest. And people go out front, and that's where some of the best conversations take place. It just so happened that a big group of us are all hanging out at the pool on the Sunday night after the convention's over. And it is Club Tarkin. And I'll be honest with you, the last 2 years, some people have been very, very excited about it because it's been talked about. It's been talked up. It's been talked up for years. People excited about going. And I'm going to put the comments on the stage for you guys just because I'm kind of running right now. So here's the deal. It's a blank check out there, okay? Usually as the evening goes on, people are drinking, okay? When you have a bottle this big of Knob Creek bourbon and people are passing around with plastic cups and shit, I don't think anybody's mind is like, God save the children. Okay? However, yes, there was a family there. A family there. With a tatted up dad and a son and a smaller daughter who's probably 7 years old. 8, I don't freaking know, whatever. That are not in our immediate vicinity. So, yeah, I'm having great conversations with 6'10 Yojo Daddy and Clint Jorgensen and having a good time. And taking digs 13th is just taking a joke, like talking shit. That's what that is, talking shit. You're not too old, really. I'm 50. That's kind of something, digging at somebody. So, hey, I'm having a great conversation. We're cutting up. Yeah, I got a buzz. It was mentioned a couple times on a recent stream. Pop was drunk. He must have been drunk. I'm on fucking vacation, goddammit. Anybody fucking understand that? I'm on a fucking vacation. The only time I really get to go out of fucking town. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have a good ass time. I'm gonna fucking hang out with people that I've gotten to meet, people I want to meet. And out of the fucking blue, when somebody calls me out and tells me I need to put my fucking cigarette out, yeah, that shit's fucking weird. It's really fucking weird. But you know what? I could have been a real fucking dickhole about it. I could have absolutely been an ass about it. But I wasn't. But I did have a dig of my own. Oh, okay, mom and dad. Who's mom and who's dad? Y'all figure that out. I got you. Put the cigarette out, go up to the upper deck. And then I hang out, proceed to have some other fantastic conversations. But in that moment, you could have heard an absolute pin drop. It completely ruined the conversation I was having with two really cool people. And it made everybody stop and be like, what? Because somebody had to assert their dominance over the situation. Had to assert their, like, hey, the sun revolves around me. And I only say that because we joke about it, but everybody's scared to fucking say it. But the bottom line is like, it didn't need to be said. This little girl happens to swim across the pool and pull up on our side of the pool in that moment. No harm, no foul. I put it out. But when people keep going on and on and on and on and on and on about it, and talking shit and saying shit, yeah. After a while, you're like, all right, keep it up, keep on. I might be lurking. That's all I'm going to say. But the bottom line is ultimately I don't give a shit. But it just kept getting like talked about or brought up and over again. And I'm like, for what? What do you gain out of this, right? What do you gain out of this 5 minutes that you're going to open your stream? Or what do you gain out of this next few minutes that you're going to talk about this because someone says they like my sticker the most out of the group of stickers that's on the screen? I mean, come on, man. Like, it's just dumb. So, yes, that's what happened. Punk called me out, told me to put my cigarette out. Crusty Old Crow joined in and said, yeah, you need to put your cigarette out. And I'm like, one of these people's a smoker, one of them's not. But, like, where did this come from? In front of everybody. Shit reminds me of fucking high school. It's fucking goofy. Fucking goofy. And you're right, Stanley. The father was dropping bombs in the presence of his kids, absolutely. And had the people who were that upset about me smoking really actually wanted to come to the pool, they probably would have been there earlier, but they really didn't want to come to the pool and spent 45 minutes beforehand talking shit about the people and going to the pool. So if you really want to go and then you show up and then this is like one of the first things you do when you get there because other people are hanging out having a good time, but you're so worried about the children, it just comes across as fucking weird. That's all I'm going to say. It's just fucking weird. It is what it is. Doesn't change anything. Doesn't make me look at things differently. Like, I look at things the same way. Doesn't change the way I look at things. But it's been bandied about, talked about on streams that have way more people than I've got. That's fine. You know what I mean? But I guarantee you, most people that meet me in person will walk away going, dude's pretty cool. He's all right. Not bad. But you won't see me sitting there blowing smoke in people's faces. You won't see me not respecting people's space. That does not happen. I'm a grown-ass man, okay? I didn't even do that when I was a kid. So, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, hey, if it smells and it stinks and your grandma stunk and shit like that, and it brings you bad memories of your grandma and shit like that, hey, sorry about your luck. You know, I can't do nothing about that. But, yes, grown men do smoke. It does happen. And when you're at a convention where there's 1,000 plus how many ever peoples and there's a bunch of dudes hanging out, people are going to hang out and they're going to do their thing. And to just go out of your way to, like, call somebody, it's just fucking weird. Very strange. Very weird. But hey, you know what? We all have our something, right? But anyway, I figured I'd get that off my chest. Yes, you are racing the clock, and I know it, man. And a butt gun sounds fantastic. Also, tell him I said thanks for the baseball card and the autograph as well. I showed him off. Tried to show him off on Wednesday night stream with 3-star. On Sevens Wild. Okay, so yeah, something like that, right? Will, good to see you, man. All right. So let's get into it a little bit. Now, Chad, if you guys watched some of his stream earlier tonight, took a little bit of my thunder. Just a tiny bit. Not a huge bit, because he really got into the video game. He got into the developer side of it and how games have changed quite a bit. And I think he was in the physical media realm. But I wanted to get into the physical media part of it. And I want to start off with Sony. All right? I want to start off with Sony. Because, get a little bit in this article. Sony erases digital content from libraries. We are reminded reminded we don't own what we buy. Okay? So they've been doing this for years. They've been, deleting movies, probably under your nose. Didn't know it. When they decide, okay, they're going to delete 550 plus of them, that becomes a thing, right? That becomes a thing. So Sony recently informed its PlayStation customers in the United Kingdom that they will no longer be able to watch previously purchased movies and shows from production and distribution company Studio Canal. Now, this will get to the United States. It's just a matter of time. But what happens a lot of times is they go after countries, areas that maybe won't put up much of a fuss. And as we've seen recently in the UK, when it comes to a lot of their problems with immigration and laws and social media things, they obviously don't put up much of a fuss. Their citizens actually just bend over and grab their ankles. But that's what happens when you take people's guns away. Sony recently informed its PlayStation customers that they will take away these movies on September 1st. Affected customers will no longer be able to stream 551 titles from the PlayStation Store. A legal notice first spotted by gaming news outlet PlayStation Lifestyle. Sony said affected customers will lose the ability to stream titles including Outrage, Way of the Yakuza, Paddington, Paddington 2, Pan's Labyrinth, Rambo 3, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, that being the biggest one. Okay, Terminator 2 got the most publicity out of this whole thing. A lot of these titles probably most people aren't going to miss. However, the problem is if you purchase those titles, you will not be able to play or stream those titles, even though you bought them. Now, I say bought them because if you ever look at your end user license agreement, short term, your EULA, in any video game, in any streaming anything, any online purchase you make, for the most part, in that fine print that we all skip and go to the end of, somewhere in there is you forfeit your right, or they can remove the content at any time. Somewhere in there, in words somewhat like this. And most of us we go past it because what do we want to do? Well, we want to get to it as fast as we can. We want to play the game as fast as we can. We want to watch the movie as fast as we can. You ready to watch it? That's where we're at now. The days of taking the VCR tape out of the case, popping it in the VCR, possibly having to rewind it all the way back to the beginning, hitting play, possibly fast forwarding through the FBI warning and getting all the way into whatever previews they put on there just to get to the movie. Those days are gone, right? No more DVD menu, no more shitty Blu-ray menu. It's immediate. We are instant gratification society. A Keurig is a case in point, which I love, but there's one. Okay, so it's in the end user license agreement. Now, it says it's possible that Sony may still make a deal with Studio Canal by September 1st or even after. That would allow users to keep watching the content they bought. This happened in 2023. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but if you don't, there's probably a reason why, and it's because it says that Sony said it would have to pull 1,318 seasons of Discovery shows from customers' libraries. A few weeks after its announcement, Sony said that it would not pull the content because it had updated its licensing arrangements with Discovery. That's why we probably don't remember that, because they actually went back and updated their licensing agreements. Okay? And by the way, case in point, Will, popped in your kid's Rock Band on Xbox to find most of the songs you bought are gone. Yes, exactly. Especially with licensed music like Vice City, San Andreas. The new version they did a few years ago that was really awful was missing a lot of the songs that people had loved from the original versions, and it's because those licensing agreements, they had expired, and it cost too much money for them, for the company that was doing the remake or the update, to spend the money, right, to re-get those songs. Rockstar, on the other hand, they got a lot of money. They can get them if they wanted, but they didn't deem it necessary. And Stanley, I had your comment starred there because I will get to that in just a second. Okay, so still, affected customers shouldn't keep their hopes too high. Sony already pulled 314 Studio Canal titles from libraries in Germany and Austria in 2022. Again, other countries, okay? Other countries. They usually try this stuff out in other areas because they know they're going to get the most pushback from us in the States, right? They're getting the most pushback from us in the States. It said that more recently, Sony deleted people's Funimation digital libraries after it decided to merge the anime streaming service with Crunchyroll. Sony has also been scaling down its digital store and stopped selling movie and show rentals and purchases in August of 2021, almost 5 years ago. Even if Studio Canal were willing to make a deal with Sony, it's feasible that Sony has less interest in retaining digital rights than before. Regardless, the incident is a reminder that we don't own the stuff we purchase digitally. Instead, digital rentals and purchases are merely long-term licenses that are only valid for as long as the streaming service has the right to distribute said content. Often, that's a finite amount of time. Sony's announcement has frustrated some, including those who believe Sony should offer refunds or who think digital stores should stop using terms like purchase for long-term rentals. And what I think we'll see is legislation introduced, if not already, that changes the language of these agreements from purchasing, buying, to literally strictly renting. You are renting it until they decide to pull it. Joe Fan, get it, baby. Grab the wetsuit. And take some pictures and be safe. All right, you guys have a great time. 7-hour drive tomorrow, and I don't blame you for not wanting to buy a PS6 when it comes out in a couple of years. There are no disk drives, and therefore this is an issue you're going to run into. Now, okay, we're talking movies and shows, all right, but we can bring it into the video game realm because, as Stanley says, did this all start with the GTA 6 diskless announcement? then other brands announce following. Well, Sony's been planning this for years. This is not Rockstar decided that they're not doing discs and therefore we need to follow suit as a giant company. No. These things are like a giant cruise ship, an aircraft carrier, right? When these companies make decisions, it takes time to turn the wheel. It takes time. You can't pivot on a dime. These decisions are made years in advance, and then they mete out the language to the customers and the consumers a bit at a time, right? They prep you, and they have certain media outlets they like to go through, and they give that information out bit by bit by bit. Especially the ones they know are going to shill for them, or they're going to go, they're going to go in their favor. So yes, this is happening. Let me get to it. Let's see here. There we go. Oh, come on. Don't you play games with me. GTA 6 is absolutely going digital only. You guys have probably heard this news already. Okay, so yeah, I still do it now on my Retron. I don't have an NES, but I do have a Retron, and I still blow those cartridges out, Will. All right, Grand Theft Auto 6 is going digital. It's a car crash for physical media. That is what this article states. Now, here's the deal. All right. This had been rumored for a while. We have seen games come out that, and as it states here, when you buy a copy at the store, okay, you're going to get a code inside. It's going to have a cardboard piece inside. There is no disc. You're going to have a code. It's a downloadable code. All right. And that gives you access to the game. Now, we know GTA 6 is a game that's going to be online for years and years and years and years and years and years and years to come. I don't think you have to worry about a title like GTA 6. What I think the biggest thing, there's two big things about this. Two big things is, one, people obviously want physical media, and they're pushing back against this digital-only transition. However, the other thing, too, is a lot of people look at this as collector's items. Okay? Some people have their original discs of GTA 3 and 4 and 5, whatever. They probably bought 2 copies. Lord knows they've sold enough of them. So, some people treat it as a collector's item. Some people get the collector's edition. Collector's editions used to be fun because they'd come with various statues or trinkets or keychains or whatever it was that tickled your fancy and you want to spend $300 on a collector's edition of a video game. Okay? And actually, Eric, Nintendo has fallen in line already because on the Switch 2, they have moved to something similar but for cartridges. So they already have absolutely kind of moved in that direction. Okay. This article is dated June 25th. So it says, on Wednesday, Red Dead Redemption and Bully publisher revealed that Grand Theft Auto 6, the most anticipated video game in, well, probably ever, will only be available as a digital download. In addition to the entirely digital delivery option, the Take-Two Interactive-owned imprint did advertise a coming physical version. But that was just a convenient use of language. It's funny how the companies use language to get us. The physical version of Grand Theft Auto 6 will merely be a download code packed in a physical video game case. It's a loophole to attract collectors and satisfy antitrust concerns, but not what the words mean to everybody else. They even put out a quote in an email that said, you will be able to acquire a physical copy during the following months, but that doesn't mean you're going to be able to get a physical disc. The physical copy in their eyes means you get a box. You get a box, an empty box with a piece of paper in it with a code. And that's that. And they are not going to back down on this. That is not going to That is not going to change. They're not going to change their mind. They're not going to start pressing discs. They're not going to, like, it. This is it. And most companies, no matter how hard they fight it, if Grand Theft Auto can do it and Rockstar can do it, that's it. That is the end. Everyone is going to start doing this. The email's use of the phrase physical copy refers to the same physical version, the code in a case, announced on Wednesday, and its following month's language is a chunky reference to the months following Wednesday's announcement, not the months following November 19th, 2026 release date. So you can start preloading the game on November 12th. But ultimately, this is not going to change. And it's only going to increase moving forward. Okay? I wanted to look up the cost of physical versus digital. I thought to myself, if all these companies are really worried, about the cost of manufacturing jewel cases, right? Or buying jewel cases and covers and CDs and having to press all this stuff. I was curious, what is that? What does that look like versus digital storage? Because one of the concerns I've brought up with a lot of people is the servers, right? So if you have, let's just say everything goes digital, just like your photos in the cloud now, right? Nobody prints their photos anymore because nobody wants to go through the bother of having to take them to Walgreens and print them out, stick them in a photo album so you can take them out and look at them, right? Now you could just share them online. You can pull your phone up and show your friends, right? So I thought, okay, what's the cost of this? Because to me, eventually, as more and more servers have to be created, right, and the cost of maintaining those servers and all your cloud photos and the cost of that keeps going up every couple years. It started out at $2.99, then it goes to $7.99, then it's $12.99, then it's $19.99 for maybe a little more storage for all your family memories, right? Todd C., how you doing, man? Good to see you, buddy. HK says Sony slated this years ago, taking away backwards compatibility. Yes, and not some things are backwards compatible. Xbox, some things are compatible from the 360 to the Series X right now. But that's shrinking, obviously. Digital-only consoles, obviously, Microsoft and PlayStation, both offering digital-only versions, cheaper, and also with the hardware and software is not as good, right? So you sacrifice the disk drive, but you also sacrifice quality of what you're playing, frame rate, and all that stuff. Yeah, Todd, please don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Quality, durability of disk cases is important too. Very much so, but it's little concern to companies at this point. So, manufacturing physical game copies, discs, cases, and covers cost publishers roughly $2.50 to $4 per unit. In contrast, digital distribution carries near zero marginal production costs per download, but incurs a standard 30% digital storefront fee from platform holders. For me, it's the back end, right? The storage, the servers, maintaining the servers, all that data, the environment around the data centers, right? There's more things that are affected than just it's in the air somewhere. That's where all your information is, in the air somewhere. It's out there. You don't know where, but it's out there somewhere, right? No, that shit is stored, accessible, and it has to be paid for, and those costs continue to skyrocket. Okay. While there are no materials, shipping, and physical retail cuts involved, digital distribution is not free. Digital storefronts like PlayStation, Steam, and Xbox typically take 30% cut of all sales. Bandwidth and servers. Publishers must bear the cost of hosting load-balanced servers for petabytes of global downloads, bandwidth fees, and digital storefronts maintenance. So yes, while the production costs are cheaper, you do have the thing of, if you want your game to go on the Xbox, they're going to take 30% off the top. And because everything's going digital, that means publishers and games makers are automatically going to have to, instead of being able to release games and have a publisher release games, you're going to have to make it on one of those storefronts, and you're going to lose 30% of revenue right off the top. Instead of the cost, smoking is bad. What's up, Matthew? 16 Yojo Daddy, how you doing? What's up, Pop Blender? What's up, chat? Y'all smash that like button and subscribe. You smash that like button, you big, tall man. That's a big man, by the way. In person, that's a big man. Nonetheless, so this is not like this is a win-win for the companies that are hosting. This is a win-win for Xbox and Microsoft. Okay? Now, here's the other thing. The thing I started looking into was, now you have Gen Z and you have all these people that are going to get physical media, and they're going to get start investing and buying retro games, right? Retro consoles. They're going to start buying stuff that's self-contained, that doesn't need updates, right? Because every game you buy, you have to put it in. It has a day one patch. It has an update. And then the next time you play it, it has to update a 1.2 gigabyte patch, right? For you to play the game. And so on and so forth. Forever. For as long as you have that game, it will continually have updates until they decide not to update it anymore. And eventually, you can't play it. Now, the most successful games, yes, they maintain those, okay? We can name off a big list of them, but we all know what they are. If you have them on disc, they are going to continue to maintain those until a nuclear bomb falls or something like that. All your God of Wars and your Fallouts and Call of Duties, right? All your big successful games, your Minecrafts and everything. However, I started thinking about the fact of people are investing in physical media, right? This is a big thing, right? Let's do it. Let's make the charge. We've got to invest in physical media. Well, what do you think happens to the price of physical media? Because of the unbalanced nature of going out and grabbing all this stuff, okay? It drives the prices up. Soon enough, within the next couple of years or less, especially when Sony starts making disc-less based consoles, the cost of physical media is going to continue to rise, and it's going to skyrocket. And so for those that are wanting to invest in physical media, you have to do it now. And most of us do not have the ability to just go out and buy everything back up. We've bought it multiple times on physical media. You had the record as a kid. You bought the cassette. You got the CD. Then you bought another disc because that one broke, or you lost it, or your girlfriend took it. Then you got a record player. You went back, you bought the album again, right? Because you're like, hell yeah, I want vinyl. And then, you go back out and you're like, oh, well, I got to have an iTunes account, so let me go buy that album again for $9.99. So you buy the album again on iTunes so you can just stream it and play it in your car, right? You see, we've paid for this stuff over and over and over, physically, over and over and over. And while, yes, the convenience of it, because the progression of technology meant that if you wanted to hear it better, take it on the go, better quality, you had to upgrade that physical media. Until we got to digital, because digital and MP3s and now MP4s, but the compression of digital media ends up really making stuff sound and look like shit. I'm not saying VHS quality is the best, don't get me wrong. But when it comes to music in particular, compressing those files, you do not get the same quality that the music is intended to be heard. Although now a lot of it's being recorded in the same fashion. And that's a shame, because it's about dynamics. And the ability to have dynamics up here and down here has forever been changed by digital recording and listening to digital tracks. Most people don't know that, they don't realize that, nor do they give a shit, because their ear they don't recognize it. As Matthew says, It's going to be $19.80 again with $100 VHS, $100 4K discs. Anybody wanting to collect physical media, you're going to have to pay out of your ass moving forward. Now, is this going to change? Is this going to change the companies? Is this going to make companies take a step back and go, hang on a second, hang on a second. We need to rethink this, because obviously the people have spoken, and the people have told us that this is not what they want. They don't want digital moving forward. They want physical media. Let's go back 22 years. Let's move back 30 years, and let's start making DVDs with fun menus again and cool jewel cases or covers inside the jewel cases, right? Let's go back to investing in DVD extras with interviews and behind the scenes, and let's go back and spend that money doing all that, right? Those things that people really talk about, how much they love it and how much they treasure those things, and really it just seems like everyone right now, they just, God, it's physical media, and it's what we want. It's what we want. It's not what we want. If it's what everybody wanted, they just keep buying it. If it's what everybody wanted in today's instant gratification age, then they would not worry about taking your time to peel off the plastic wrap around a disc. Sometimes that was a pain in the ass, right? And then peeling the other tape off the top of the jewel case, the non-theft tape, and getting that off, and the DVD, and then popping that open, and then finding something to play it on, and changing the source on your TV over to this, and putting it in, and then taking the volume to your surround sound, and then turning that up, and and think about all those steps, right? Or can you just turn your Xbox on and go to the file? Can you just pull up Netflix and go to your list and stream the show or the movie? I mean, they've got us over a barrel. They've had us over a barrel, and it's not going to stop. It's romantic. It's romantic. Like articles like this. Cypher63, how the hell are you? And as Todd C says, $1, one comic book is $5. You can get electronic trade for the same on sale. Very true. Stanley says, how long before physical media dries up at Goodwill? Well, it will. You will start to see it at your comic shops. You'll start to see a lot of DVDs and stuff. Now, I'm not saying they all will. But what I am saying is that you will definitely, as this starts to really, and it's gained steam, but as more and more people get tuned in and more friends get talked to, and this thing has legs like a good movie, the more people that go to buy DVDs, you're going to add a couple more to that list, and then a couple more to that list, and a couple more to that list. And yes, a lot of these titles are going to start costing you money to buy them online. You will not be able to find them in public. You will have to go online. And you know what happens when we go online. We go on eBay to find things that eventually become scarce. As Matthew said, then you start getting the $100 VHS tapes and or DVD sets. Friends, Season 5. Instead of being able to find it for $7.99 at your local comic shop or wherever you go to buy your stuff, use CD Play, CD Warehouse, whatever, you're going to find it on eBay for $79.99 or $100, right? Matthew says, people who talk in the theater obtain the lowest levels of hell. Agreed, right next to PDF files. And I know how to burn physical media. Yes, look, and that's also something that we learned 20 years ago. If you really wanted to, making your own physical media. Yes, it still can be done. And we'll probably start to see, remember how people had those towers, those burners, and you'd have friends. I had a friend of mine that worked at the Fridays I bartended at. And every Tuesday, every DVD Tuesday, he would come in with all the latest releases, and he would have them all there, and he'd have either ones that had a color case, or he had one that had black and white, or he had ones that was just a blank jewel case, small jewel case with the disc, with a Sharpie written on the movie, and he sold them at different price points. And he had 2 towers at home, and he'd be burning 5 discs at a time, 10 discs all together at a time. Bam, bam, bam. And he made a lot of money that way. Obviously, we know that technically you're not supposed to do that, but as Eric says, Blu-ray is about to be worth a grip. I mean, that's the reality. So as much as we talk about this physical media, as much as we talk about wanting to get it, if you haven't already been investing in it, if you haven't already been getting the albums or getting the movies that you want, or the games that you want, gaming in particular, gaming, it is incredible how much some of these games cost. It is absolutely incredible how much some of these games cost when I go to look. That 2 years ago had no problem getting at a flea market. And now, because of the low production numbers and the cultish-like status of some of these games, try getting the PlayStation 2 Punisher game. Right now, you probably can find it decently, but moving forward, it's going to be harder and harder to get. You know, things of that nature. The prices are going to go up. It says, if you were ever uncertain about when to start building a physical media collection of Blu-rays and DVDs, it says Anthony Marcusa of Pocket Lint. He says, and even video games, the time is now, whereas once the convenience of streaming and digital copies of titles and games seemed like the best deal for home entertainment consumers, the insidious side of all that is revealing itself. This is published July 9th of this year. Digital content is not what it seems, and if you want to ensure ownership and quality, you need to collect physical media and fast. Forget about streaming and subscription services. Go get a disc right now. And then he goes down the list. He goes down the list, and Eric, I started that comment, by the way, of the list. Physical discs are going extinct. Companies are rolling back on manufacturing. This is true. They are spending less and less capital on manufacturing. Physical discs represent ownership. Media in your hand belongs to you. That is a marker of going out and buying, physical media. Why companies prefer digital copies? Digital is cheaper and easier to control. As we've seen, scenes from movies, lines from movies have been edited or cut out completely if they do not comply with the ideology of certain companies and what they think is wrong think. If it's wrong think, they will go in and edit a movie. And if you hadn't seen that movie in a long time and you don't know it by heart, you probably won't even notice it. And they know that, and they take that into account because they know, yeah, there might be a few random people out there that go, hey, wait a minute, I swear that scene had different words. That's not the line I remember when I went to see it in the theater when I was a kid. But you're not going to change the world as one person. And they know 1,000 people are not going to change their mind, right? They will get by with it because enough people get fooled by it. It doesn't matter. Buy physical media now. Collect Blu-rays, DVDs, and video game discs. As you see, a PS3 right here, because the PS3 storefront is getting closed down, if not already. Things that you bought on the Xbox 360, that storefront gets closed down. You lose access to those games, even though you bought those games. Even if you have the discs, if you can't update them, they're rendered unplayable. Games now require an online connection. Single-player games that do not require any microtransactions or multiplayer experience still require an online connection because they need a day one patch and they need constant updates no matter what. I mentioned it earlier. It's the dumbest thing. It makes no sense. But it's because they're feature incomplete. They do not complete these projects. They know they ship them in a shitty state, and then they rush to make a day one patch, and as soon as you buy the game and pop it in on disc, it updates. So even buying physical media doesn't necessarily guarantee you're still going to be able to play that game 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 30 years from now. Probably not going to play it 30 years from now, that's for sure. Let's see here. Eric says, will game stores go under? Absolutely. GameStop will cease to exist in a few years. They already closed 500 stores worldwide recently, and that will continue. That is not going to change. 3-Star Draw says, get 3 DVDs from Netflix, rip them and send them back the next day. Get more. On a good week, I'd get 9 discs ripped. Talking about the good old days. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. When they would send them to you, or you go to Redbox, right? Obviously, some of those discs were coded, right? But then people had software just to get around the code. Todd C says, I'm too old to hoard something else other than toys. And see, that's the other thing, right? I mean, that is the other thing. Is that, we gather so much stuff. You accumulate so much stuff. So thinking about how much more stuff can I accumulate, it starts to be a daunting task, right? And if you had the software on your PC that you could get around the way they try to ban you from burning or pirating, right? But a lot of people had a workaround for that. When Netflix ended physical media service, they told us to keep what we had, so we got the rarest discs we could find. Now, that's great advice, Matthew. That's great advice from them. Rare, that they would tell you that. Probably wouldn't tell you that now. Are there still red boxes? I think there's like one that I know of at a CVS, and I have not looked at a red box machine in years. Cypher63 says, I am a tangible media collector for the very reason you just mentioned, feeling of ownership. Yeah, I mean, the ownership. What's up, Lady Virgo? How the HE double hockey sticks are you, girl? What's up? It's the feeling of ownership is a great feeling, but I think a lot of us take it for granted. And I think it was easy for a lot of us to fall into that thing that we thought we were buying games digitally. We thought we were buying these games. You forego the EULA and you think you own it until one day the rug gets pulled out from under you. If you paid $70 for an online game that gets canceled 2 months later, that you paid $70 for a game and then no one plays it, and look, the reasons why the game failed, that's a different conversation. But if you paid $70 for a game and 2 or 3 months later or a year later they pull it and it's an online shooter or something like that, you're just shit out of luck. Unless you're fortunate enough to have a company that would offer you refunds. But for the most part, you're shit out of luck. Yeah, GameStop seems to be sitting on a treasure. I wonder where a lot of that stock inventory goes, what they do with it. I would guess that as they start to close more and more stores, you'll see more and more employees just sneaking stuff out. Be my guess. Right? How do you control prices if you sell old games at this point? Yeah, I mean, even GameStop, for as long as they last, their prices are going to start creeping up, depending on the quality of the disc. And even then, the quality of the disc, it'll be lower. But, I believe, I really do, it's going to start creeping up. I think it ultimately is going to get up more and more companies and more publishers like Rockstar, more and more game devs decide we're going discless, which they're going to be forced to. If you're going to make something on PlayStation 6, you can't have a disc. You can't make a physical copy. So Sony's making the decision for them. It doesn't matter if you're a developer and you want to have a physical copy, you can't. You can't have one. They've made the decision. Even if you drew a line in the sand and you said, hey, we are Obsidian or we're Bethesda and we believe in discs and physical copies, guess what? It doesn't matter. Besides the fact, most of these companies have been bought up by Sony. They've been bought up by Xbox and Microsoft. So they don't have a say in the matter. It doesn't matter. They do what they're told. So these companies have already made the decision for the game developers. And they've just taken that cost out of the equation. And unfortunately, and this is another byproduct, Cypher63 says, on the same vein, cars are moving away from CarPlay and whatever Android has. Cars will force you to use proprietary software with a monthly subscription. Yes, we all enjoy streaming to our Bluetooth speakers. And if they get rid of Bluetooth, or they somehow find a way to make sure you have this to use your Bluetooth in your car, I could totally see that. We've seen BMW remove features. Other car manufacturers remove features, and if you want the features, you have to pay a monthly subscription fee in a fucking car. Oh, you want that backup camera? Yeah, that's going to be $29.99 a month. Oh, you want the fog lights? Okay, well. All right, look, we'll give you a special 3 months at $9.99, and then after that, it's $15.99 a month. I mean, it really is. It's crazy, and you think it's goofy, right, charging for AC, but it's more and more of these cars run on computers, and more of these cars are connected. Easily see a day. You know, it used to be you had a manual transmission, automatic transmission. You could go choose that. And if you got a manual transmission, the car was cheaper. You could have AC or no AC. And of course, if you went with no AC, the car was cheaper. You could have roll down windows. You could have electric windows. The car was cheaper. If you had manual roll down, you get what I'm saying? AM, FM radio, no CD player, car was cheaper. They are eliminating your choice, so to speak, and then taking the fundamentals of a vehicle, or like a video game console, they're eliminating your ability to choose. So if you want a PlayStation 6, I don't give a shit how much you like discs and how much into physical media you are. If you want that game, you have to buy it digitally. And you know what happens? Think about how many times you've been able to buy used games and play used games and find a game you really wanted 3 years later and you bought it for $14.99 instead of $70. Those days are gone, folks. Right? When you go on PlayStation's homepage, or you go on their sale page, their catalog, and you go on Xboxes, and you look at the price of games, and you go through it, and you look at them, unless the game is old as shit, they are selling even games that failed, that were pieces of garbage, woke-ass, bullshit garbage, filled with all kinds of bullshit gamers don't want. Those games are full price. Yeah, they do a sale every now and then. Great. It's awesome. Summer sale. Those games are full price, y'all. Terrible games. Full price. So moving forward, you won't be able to get used games, because there won't be any. And you'll have to pay full price. Now, are there sites that you can buy keys to redeem? Yes, 100%. 100%. As Lady Virgo Cool says, 100. But, yes, 100%. Yes, you can buy, you can look it up, and yes, you can get an Xbox code for America or whatever region you live in, and yes, you can find things on sale, you can find them cheaper, but ultimately, even those prices are going to go up. The prices always go up. And in this case, they've got you by the balls or the ovaries, and they're going to squeeze them, and you have no choice but to accept it. You cannot fight it. Everybody wants, well, fight it. We're going to petition. We got 200,000 people sign our petition. We're going to do this. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. This shit is happening, and there's nothing you can do about it. Especially with new product moving forward. But like I said, even the old product will become extremely expensive, and even the old product digitally to purchase, they'll try to sell you at regular price, or $59, $69. It just is. And now Rockstar has proposed the $100 version of their game. And the thing of it is, it's not a collector's edition. They literally lock away features in the game if you do not pay the extra $30. If you want to get all the game, the features of the game, certain spray shops and certain mods for your car and certain clothing and stuff like that, you're only going to get access to all of it if you pay $100. And now they have opened up the floodgates for all these other companies to start pushing the cost of their games up, even the shitty games. They are taking all the discs away. Say that three times fast. How about saying bulging disc 3 times fast? Bulging disc, bulging disc, bulging disc, bulging disc, bulging disc, bulging disc. Yike. Does this all rely on the success of data centers? That's a big part of it, though, in my opinion. That's a big part of it. The data centers. But it doesn't matter. They're investing billions of dollars. They don't give a shit. And unless legislation or the government gets involved, and do you want the government getting involved? Like, unless the government gets involved, we'll see. Yes, as long as your system connects to the net, they force a software update to block your physical games as well, but I think I'm stating the obvious. Yeah, but sometimes you have to state the obvious. Games look worse than they did 5 years ago. That is obvious, but Todd C needs to state it because people need to hear it. Yes, games look like shit. They absolutely look like shit. Yeah, the DLC part, though, but this isn't DLC. This is the main feature game. This is not DLC. It's not DLC. You know, in GTA 5, there's different spray shops you can go to evade the cops. You have your car spray painted. There's certain bars you go to or clubs. There's certain, like, that's not DLC. That's just in the game. And now what they're doing is they are gating off that content unless you pay the $100 version. DLC was new story missions, right? New stories. Other cars, whatever. That's not what this is. And there's probably not going to be any DLC anyway. They didn't do DLC for Grand Theft Auto 5. They just went strictly online. I'm sure Grand Theft Auto 6 is the same. Red Dead Redemption 2 had no DLC, unlike Red Dead Redemption 1. And many other games are foregoing DLC. Spider-Man 2 had no DLC. Spider-Man 1 had DLC. Spider-Man 2 had none. 13th Assassin says, I'm going to save a lot of money because I will not buy digital bullshit or support any of these companies. And I don't blame you at all. I don't blame you. I don't blame people for taking a stand and saying, hey, I'm done. But for people that do love playing video games and they do want to play the latest version of a series that they love, a gaming story that they want to continue, right? Then you either just don't play it, which is a valid option. But if you really like playing games or watching certain movies or whatever, you know, what are you going to do? 3 stars says, I wouldn't buy that shit, but there's plenty of suckers that are going to. Yeah, I mean, look, you know, the bottom line is that they force you. They force you into a corner. They force you into having, eventually, no matter how much you want to resist, okay, how do you resist if there's things that you want? And as much as Gen Z is buying physical media, they're buying records and all that kind of stuff, it's not going to support the record industry, right? I'll say this. I'm fortunate that I have all of my 45s and all of my 33 and thirds, all of my moms and all my sisters, all those records, all those albums, all that vinyl, still have it all of it. Doesn't mean it's all in great shape, but still have all of it. I did see an article too where it says that Blu-ray orders have gone up 10,000% since June of this year. And vinyl has obviously gone up as well. But, yeah, I mean, 10,000% Blu-ray sales. And that rush to get that physical media, although I think Blu-ray sucks. Don't get me wrong, the quality of it, but like they don't have the fun menus anymore or any interactive stuff anymore. It's pretty basic ass bitch stuff, which I hate. I do hate that, but it's kind of what we're looking at. But these companies know they can put in the least amount of effort. People are still going to buy. And again, like I said earlier, you've bought the vinyl, you bought the cassette, you bought the CD, you bought the concert on DVD, right? You bought the videos from the band on DVD. How many versions? I mean, how many versions of Skyrim are out there? Jesus Christ. Anniversary edition, extended edition, bullshit edition, shitty first edition, downloadable edition, patched edition, digital, all digital content edition, VR edition. It's like Nintendo Switch edition, Switch 2 edition, Xbox 360 edition, Xbox One edition, Xbox Series X edition, PlayStation 5 edition. They've packaged and resold Skyrim 20 fucking times. At least. People still buy it. Still buy it. It's incredible. So, how does this relate to the own nothing and you'll like it? How does this relate to wealth? How does this relate to the overall health of an economy or a society? How does that relate, right? We're just talking about video games. Video games are pop culture. They are the largest entertainment industry in the world. Grand Theft Auto 5 is the single most money-making piece of entertainment ever in the history of the world. So, we're talking about video games, right? Yeah, there's a lot of gamers. A lot of people play games on their phone, too. Are they considered a gamer? I don't think so, but some people would say yes. I don't believe it. That's how a lot of articles will justify saying that 50% of gamers are women, but that we all know that's a fucking lie, because I don't consider Bubble Bobble or Match 3 on your phone a game. But gaming is just one part of it, right? Physical media, music, movies, just a part of it. But I started thinking about this, and I started thinking about like things that used to be easily obtainable, or at least easy enough obtainable in people's lives, that you could feel, you could touch. They were in front of you, right? You could put your hands on it. Right now, everything is in the cloud. It's all cloud-based. AI, it's all cloud-based. Everything's out there. You can't touch it. You can't work on it. You can't work on your car anymore. You can't work on things, right? You can't feel them out. You can't learn about them. It's out there. It's in the cloud. And there's technology that makes it work, and you can access it. And as long as I have access to my pictures and my documents and all that good shit, right? But as soon as you stop paying for that access, or you have an accident, or maybe you lose your job, or go to jail, I don't know. If you're not paying for that access, guess what? You lose that access. Eventually, you probably lose that access forever. And if you haven't backed any of that stuff up, if you haven't physically stored it somewhere so you can retrieve it at a later date, then you're probably shit out of luck. But I started thinking about, how does this relate to like just everyday people and renting, not owning. Renting, not owning. So I pulled up a couple figures that you guys might find quite interesting. Some of you may know this, some of you may not. But I figured this bears worth talking about. A stark wealth gap between homeowners and non-homeowners. The typical U.S. homeowner holds a median net worth of roughly $430,000, while the average renter has a net worth of just $10,000. This means homeowners are roughly 43 times wealthier than renters. This massive disparity is primarily driven by three core financial mechanics of real estate: appreciation, obviously we know about, amortization, every mortgage payment acts as a forced savings account, steadily decreasing debt and building equity, and leverage. Property owners can control an entire appreciating asset with just a fraction of the cost up front. Additionally, Federal Reserve data shows that home ownership is tied to broader wealth diversification. Homeowners generally hold 16 times more in stocks and bonds and 15 times more in retirement accounts compared to renters. As homeowners age, their equity and net worth continue to grow, peaking around $500,000 for household ages 55 to 64. Conversely, the median net worth of renters remains stagnant, near $10,000 across their lifetimes. If you are a middle-class family or lower middle class, the only way in this country that you will get to any kind of generational wealth that you could pass down to your children, not the only way, but the primary way, and I agree with the fraction of the cost part, Will. The main way, and I'll catch you sometime later, 3-star, have a good night, is that buying a home is mainly about the only way to build any generational wealth if you are not a part of the 1%. If you are middle class, buying a home is basically your lottery ticket in a way. It doesn't mean you're going to be wealthy. It doesn't mean you're going to be rich. But it is basically your collateral. It is your asset. And as the cost of homes continue to skyrocket, and as more and more people, especially young people, are priced out of purchasing homes, and many older people who have not bought a home by the time they're 40 or 50 probably are not going to buy a home. And that means you're going to be renting. And as these statistics, and they are accurate, I've looked up many different articles. This is just your AI, okay, overview. But I do have an article, and I looked at multiple. And it is true. They, and I say they, and you know who they are turning everyone into renters. That generational wealth that you could pass down to your kids is evaporating. It evaporated, and it's continuing to evaporate. And it's becoming unattainable. And when you make something unattainable, it becomes a normality. When people just have apathy, they're not angry about it, right? They become apathetic about it, and then they just assume that, well, I'll just never be able to own a home. Then it's a very dangerous, slippery slope to be in. And that's a slope that we're on currently right now. Not only with the cost of living, but also with the job market as far as the wage scale that goes along with maintaining a cost of living. And as Todd C. says, there's affordable homes out there, just not in places people want to move to. Well, most people want to be safe, Todd, right? Like, most people want to feel safe. Most people want to pull up to their home and get out of their car without fear of being mugged or shot, or their neighbor, who knows, right? So you're correct. You are absolutely correct. It's in places most people don't want to move to, and there's a reason why. Would you like me to list those reasons why? And I always say that just because the fact that we all know. You want to be safe when you come home. You want to feel safe when you come home. And if you have children, You want those children to feel safe and go to a school where you feel safe for them to go to school at. And guess what? If you don't own a home and you rent, they ain't going to private school. Because chances are you don't make or have the kind of money, because as we've seen, the average is $10,000 in net worth. That is severely paycheck to paycheck. Now, don't get me wrong, the net worth being built into owning a home, the property, and the value of the home, right? Plenty of homeowners living paycheck to paycheck. We know this. They miss 2 paychecks, they're in fear of losing their home, right? We know this. But as I said, most people want to live somewhere safe. Could they buy a home in Gary, Indiana? Sure they could. Do they want to? Fuck no. Why the fuck would anybody want to live there? But I know exactly what you're saying. And you're right. Matthew says it's gone. We're all slaves now. The fascists have won. I mean, look. I don't want to have a defeatist attitude, but we have to be realistic about this, right? Like on some fronts. I'm not saying all fronts, but we have to be honest about this. After the 2008 housing crisis was created, in my opinion, to create this problem. It was to ruin the credit of millions of Americans. It was to make them apathetic about their self-worth and being able to ever own a home again. It was creating false reality for people who couldn't afford to pay the high interest rates but could get into a home for zero money down, because the American dream tells you to buy a home. And it created the problem we have now, which is a bunch of companies came in, like Warren Buffett's company, for instance, snatched up all of those homes that got repossessed or short sold. And then they either A, chose to rent those homes out at 3 to 4 times the average price of what a home like that would cost to rent, or they jacked the prices of them up and either sold them to people who can afford them, which obviously makes sense, but it artificially raised up the market value. And yes, in a city like Nashville, sure. City like Nashville has exploded. If you don't make $100,000, if you are a single person in the city of Davidson County and you do not make $100,000 a year, you cannot afford a home in Nashville, Tennessee. And that's not only in the city, that's the other surrounding counties around it, which means you might commute 40 minutes to work, 30 minutes to work, or longer. Not everybody's city is blowing up like Nashville, right? But as we know, there's a lot of cities around the country, and the housing prices have absolutely gotten crazy. And also, too, we have to understand, most people don't want to pick their whole family up and move to a different state, right? If you've lived in a state your whole life, or if your family's from there, most people don't want to pick up and move to a state that's 1,300 miles away, right? You know, we have to understand that, too. It's not so easy to just pick up and leave and go somewhere new, pull your kids out of school, and just disappear. Especially as your parents start getting older and other family members start getting older, because you feel like you need to be closer to people, right? But it's the reality. It's the absolute reality, is that, you know, they have made, while politicians who have a net worth of $50,000 are going into Congress and 4 years later have a net worth of $40 million, there's something wrong. But the average American can't afford to buy a home. There's something wrong. Shane just woke up. Or, as Clint says, toys being stolen from the porch. Exactly. Clint says, if you start out at 20, what's up, Frank Duman? How you doing? And rent your whole life and invest the rest, you are better off financially. Depending on where you're renting from. I will tell you, the average rent in Nashville, Tennessee right now is, let's see here. Let's just look it up. Average rent in Nashville, Tennessee is between $1,700 and $1,850 a month. A 2-bedroom apartment will cost you roughly $2,100 a month. I don't know a lot of people who can afford $2,100 a month for 2 bedrooms. I don't know a lot of people who can afford $1,800 a month for 1 bedroom. Right? Matthew says you could buy a home, an RV. Nomad tribalism returns. Let's be gypsies. It sounds fun. My family tells me I was dropped off on the porch by some gypsies. I'll never know. Todd says, I think they recently changed the rules. Multi-billion companies can't buy real estate that are family residences anymore. You are correct, but unfortunately the damage was done. And the prices have gone up. Financial literacy is at an all-time low. This is correct. If you start investing in your late teens, you can compound pretty easy if you keep it up for 30 years. That's what I've been trying to tell my son. Like, literally trying to tell my son. 100%. School, who needs the Department of Education that has failed all measures of education? Well, and that is a story for another day, Matthew. Maybe something I can bring up in a future stream, but you are correct. Education has definitely failed us and failed our children. Although we have to understand, we can't just allow the educators to be the only people who influence and educate your children, right? But we trust them to educate them on the things that we think are the cornerstones of forming a good person and having literacy and being able to read and move on. You got a lot of college freshmen that can't read, that have a 4th grade reading level right now. Yeah, a studio in New York, Will says. Yeah, that's in Nashville, Tennessee, Will. And you can get a studio in New York City now for that cost. And Eric says it has gone up everywhere. Of course, you would know that on the West Coast. In particular, it's probably always been up, but I assume it's definitely gone up even more so, even though you have a lot of people leaving California, right? It doesn't matter, right? Look, it will fluctuate. But the bottom line is that the housing crisis of 2008, in my opinion, has really created this issue that we're at now. And obviously, they were handing out loans like lollipops and candy canes. It happened to me. I am a victim of the predatory lending. I am a victim of the 2008 housing crash. I have told it many times, and it's true. And I had to short sale a house to avoid foreclosure. Bought a house for $126,000, and I short sold it for $55,000 just to get out from under the weight of the loan. So you can imagine what that did to my self-esteem. But, alas, I move on. The reason I brought that to the renter ownership part is because we're talking about physical media. We're talking about owning things. We're talking about language. And it directly coincides with the fact that companies don't want some of the money. They want all of the money. Right? And so that gets passed down to us. And when companies make decisions like what Sony and soon Microsoft will do by removing the ability to choose whether you want a physical or digital console to play games, which is escapism, right? Tiny slice of heaven to get away from all the bullshit. Then you just have the bullshit right back in your face, right? And there's nothing we can do to stop it. Absolutely nothing. And just like I was mentioning about the politicians who go into Congress with a net worth of $50,000 or $100,000, and they 4 years later end up with a $40 million surplus somehow, there's nothing we can do to stop it. It will continue to happen. We all know it happens. We all know what goes on, and yet we are powerless to stop it. The companies will continue to take advantage of us, and we will basically just grab our ankles and take it. All the petitions and protesting in the world will not change, will not stop, unless your government gets involved and literally shuts that shit down. And even then, that's not going to happen. And they would somehow still be able to wriggle out of it. And when lawmakers put things on the books, like preserving games, for instance, the game companies come back with lobbyists who fill the pockets of the politicians, and then that goes bye-bye. It's just the honesty of it. But yeah, it's a shame. Rent, you will be renting, you will own nothing, and you will be happy to do it. And we're very close. Very close. And I think it's because of apathy, ultimately. Apathy. I do think that if there's fire and people can make some noise, I do believe some things can change. But I think in today's world, it's an uphill battle that seems extremely difficult to win, and I don't think it's winnable. I will tell you one win. I will say one win, and this is an idea. This is a what I'll tell you about how sometimes you do get a win. If you like to play the EA college football games, if you do like the game, EA Sports put out a college football 27 game. They've done 3 of them, 25, 26, 27. And this year they added paid progression microtransactions. And it was in the single player part of the college football game from EA Sports. Single player, and they had paid progression. If you wanted to progress, you had to pay money. People revolted, and they've changed their mind. They have actually said not only will they improve their transparency in live service plans for college football 28 and beyond, but there are no microtransactions in the single player version of the game. Moving forward, they have removed them, and they are only available in the online game and online competitive gaming if you want to play against other gamers. So every now and then, people do get a win. Every now and then. It's rare when a video game company pulls back on microtransactions. But it actually happened. And with a company like EA, I am shocked. Absolutely shocked. It is a fun game. If you like football games, it is a fun game to play. But that caused a lot of controversy. Exactly, Will. Score a victory for the working man. Single-player games do not need microtransactions or pay-to-win mechanics or paid progression. It's a single-player game / campaign where you're playing by yourself. There is no need to force people to pay money to get features or progress their character. It's stupid. And people would absolutely review bomb the shit out of it. But it's not review bombing. It's just being honest. So Warner Brothers is catching some heat. Warner Brothers is copyright striking people's YouTube, Facebook, their copyright striking channels, social media, because people were talking about leaks on the Lantern show. Hal Jordan dies. People have leaks. No one has showed any footage. Nobody has showed anything from Lanterns at all, but they have discussed these leaks. And Warner Brothers has been going out of their way to strike channels over discussing it even though they haven't shown any footage. You guys know, I talk about it all the time. I show a trailer, somebody claims the video. You can't even promote somebody's movie, for Christ's sake. They claim your channel. Any money you might make, they claim your channel. Well, Warner Brothers Discovery's response, according to that Park Place, to an alleged Lantern spoiler has gone far beyond asking websites to remove leaked material. Instead, the company now finds itself at the center of a growing controversy after an entertainment news outlet says it was hit with copyright enforcement across X, YouTube, and Facebook, even though it claims it never showed leaked footage from the series. If accurate, this isn't simply about protecting intellectual property anymore. It's about whether one of Hollywood's biggest studios is attempting to use copyright law to suppress discussion of an upcoming project. Cosmic Book News, who I just had their site up earlier, says that Lantern's takedown goes cross-platform. Warner Brothers vendor strikes our YouTube. Facebook pulls our video. According to the outlet, they got a copyright strike. Same video was also removed from Facebook. Rather than leaked clips from Lanterns, the publication says the 67-second video consisted primarily of editor Matt McGloin speaking directly to the camera about the story while displaying screenshots of his own reporting and social media posts. Other channels have also gotten copyright strikes from Warner Brothers. And it's just for discussing the leaks. It is fair use. It was absolute fair use. And yet you have a company like Warner Brothers who is striking channels for discussing casting, story, scripts, production leaks, etc. That's what people cover. It's entertainment news. They cover leaks. Now, the reason they're so worried and the reason James Gunn is so worried is because of the story of Lanterns, and what they're worried is that everybody knows that Hal Jordan is going to die, and they know that a lot of people are going to be extremely upset about this. This is Warner Brothers outstepping their bounds. I heard about the Go Fest too, by the way, Clint. I heard it was pretty daggone awesome. And Clint, I also have your comment starred from earlier. This reminds me of 2020. Do you guys remember a little game called The Last of Us Part 2? Anybody remember that game? That shitty story of a game. Well, back in 2020, as I pull up an article right here, Naughty Dog and Sony attempt to quash Last of Us Part 2 leaks and silence anyone discussing them. When the leaks started coming out that Joel was going to get killed with a golf club, Naughty Dog went all ham on anybody that was discussing it. Yep, it was 2020. This article is from 2020, April 30th. And this launched a few YouTube channels into the stratosphere, such as Ryan Kennel, such as D-Day Cobra, Jeremy Prime, Geeks and Gamers, and also as Heels versus Babyface, launched those channels big time because they were getting copyright struck by Neil Druckmann and Naughty Dog for discussing Joel getting killed in the game early on, and also talking about Anita Sarkeesian and Neil Druckmann's connection. In an attempt to silence those channels, they were copyright striking them. In essence, multiple strikes that, if not fought, would remove those channels forever. So, YouTuber Ryan Kennel reports his YouTube channel received a copyright takedown and had his video removed for talking about Anita Sarkeesian and Neil Druckmann's connection. He adds, "I could not believe that just for showing an image that is out there everywhere, anywhere that you can find right now on the internet, there are people making memes about this ma'am sitting there with a golf club after what she had just done to a beloved character. For showing that image and talking about those leaks, I get a copyright strike." Yeah, boy, did they ever, Cypher63. I'm gonna be a dad. Disgusting. Oh, Christ. Yep, exactly, Will. So, for people talking about those leaks, for talking about the images that had leaked online, okay? Even not showing the images, just talking about them. Naughty Dog went on and started striking channels. And here we are again, 6 years later. Warner Brothers striking channels for discussing what's going to happen in the Lantern show, which is going to be an absolute bomb, by the way. In order to try to silence people for discussing stuff that they know people aren't going to like, because they wanted to be able to get as many people to get that money in those pre-orders and then play the game and be past the 2-hour mark or whatever and not be able to get a refund. And, of course, that game was not on Steam, so you couldn't get a refund. And if you got to that point, there's no way in the hell Sony is going to give you a refund for that game, for one. So then you get to that point in the story and you realize that your favorite character from the first game gets absolutely destroyed by a ma'am. And then you are forced to play as said ma'am after offing Joel with a golf club. And Naughty Dog knew that fans were not going to like this. So what did they do? They started copyright striking channels and trying to delete channels from discussing the leaks. It's fair use if people are not showing. Even if they're showing certain content, as long as you are transforming that content, it is fair use. It says Kendall also details that the second video was also removed on the Gaming with Geeks YouTube channel, Geeks and Gamers YouTube channel. He explains not only did the video get removed there, but this video over here on Gaming with Geeks, both videos I made, both got copyright strikes from Naughty Dog because they do not want people figuring out about this game. They do not want people hearing about what they have done. And this is the same thing that Lanterns is doing and trying to cover up, and they are just trying to make sure that people do not hear that one of their favorite characters is going to get killed in the show because they know people are going to be disinterested and they're not going to tune in. It's ma'am! One of the greatest videos in the history of videos. And honestly, seriously, in all honesty, one of the greatest videos in the history of all videos, and gives you an idea into how some of these people truly are, right? So let's have some fun and let's watch it, shall we? As we turn down our boy Otis McDonald and the band, and we share It's Ma'am. Let's do it. I don't know. Maybe I'll get struck for this. Who knows?
You're gonna give me my fucking money back.
Excuse me, sir. There's a young man in here.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
Yikes.
Please, if you'd like me to, you need to settle down.
You need to settle down and mind your business, okay? Ma'am, once again, ma'am.
I said both of you.
No, you said sir. Once again, it's ma'am.
I actually said both of you guys. It was general.
Right beforehand, you fucking said sir.
Sir? Okay.
Motherfucker, take it outside. If you want to call me sir again, I will show you a fucking sir.
I apologize.
Motherfucker.
I apologize now.
Sorry, ma'am.
I need your corporate number. Because I'm going to call them and talk about how it was misgendered several times in this store.
I apologize for that.
I need your corporate number now.
Oh, God.
Get it for me now.
I'm going to ask you to calm down and stop cussing.
Give me your
Stop
corporate
hitting
number.
destroying property.
Well, I'm going to ask you for the 5th time to stop calling me a man. Because quite clearly I am not.
Quite clearly, I am not. Quite clearly, I am not a man. This was at a time, remember? This was at a time when people were getting fired for saying the wrong word.
I apologize. I'm sorry for that, ma'am. I will get you that number. Is that okay?
Yes,
I'm
get it
just
for me
asking-
now.
I'm asking you to stop
Get it
cussing.
for me now. I'm not cussing. I'm not cussing.
Okay.
Give me the damn number now, please. Ooh!
Ma'am. Ma'am, I apologize. I apologize, ma'am. I will get you that number right now.
This poor kid.
No, you're just gonna keep bumping your gums. You're just gonna keep bumping your gums and disrespecting trans people in this store. Which I plan on telling the entire LGBTQ community. You're going to lose money over this.
It's obvious GameStop lost money from the LGBTQ community, right? From trans people. That's why GameStop's in trouble, not because their model is outdated and they invested in Funko Pops and knick-knack bullshit. No. This is why GameStop crashed, obviously. No, this was one of the most famous and still one of the most famous crash outs. What's up, Cooter? How the hell are you? One of the most famous crash outs we've ever seen by someone. And as I said, it's obvious. It was so easy to mistaken this person for a man. I can't know how. I don't understand how that happens. They are in real life robots in the skies, more than meets the eye. Yeah, Clay. Yeah, it's. I mean, look, come on. We know this is all for show. It's all for show. Yeah, I mean, knocking shit over, right? Yeah. Never seen this. Yeah, Cypher63. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, it's ma'am. You can watch it at your own leisure. All you do is type in "it's ma'am" on YouTube and you'll find it, the full video. And this poor kid behind the counter is probably sitting there like, oh my God, oh my God, I'm gonna get fired. My life is over. My life is ruined because I said sir, because obviously this is like a 6'4" fucking dude. Christ. Again, what does this world come to, right? And the fact that it was buying physical media at the time ties into tonight's theme beautifully. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good, Will. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Pretty wild. Yes, that was a man, but he said he was a woman. But that was a man. Let's not kid ourselves. Yep, can't pull one over on Crocodile Dundee. I thought Hulk Hogan, right? I thought Hulk Hogan was more apropos. Like, let's see here. I mean, you tell me. Is that a woman? I don't think so. That's a man, baby. Yeah, if he's a manager for GameStop, he must really hate his life. I'm not gonna lie to you guys by now. So he's probably like, "Oh God, I hate my life." Yeah, no, it's you know, and in video games, this has also been an issue, right? Like here, let me see here. Let me share this with you guys. Hang on, I'll pull it back up for you. There we go. There's the image.
You need to settle down and mind your business, okay?
Both of you guys?
Ma'am, once again, ma'am.
I said both of you.
No, you said sir. Once again, it's ma'am.
I actually said both of you guys. It was a general.
Right beforehand, you fucking said sir.
Sir? Okay.
That's how most.
Motherfucker, take it outside. If you want to call me sir again, I will show you a fucking sir.
That's how most women I know talk and react to situations. Most definitely. And then, as we've seen, a lot of games that have decided, you know what, we're tired of male characters in the same game franchise. Let's change them from like God of War to Last of Us to Drake's Fortune to Assassin's Creed to now The Witcher. These are all your main characters on the right here, folks. Obviously, that's what gamers want. Unfortunately, when they seem to make females in their games, they look like this. I'm not sure what happens, but they tend to turn out because purposefully widening the chin and jowls and eyes and nose and all that, and they'll tell you, oh, the target, they can't, the technology's not there, and yet you'll look at Japanese-made games, and somehow they nail the technology that the actress who they've hired to play and model and do the mocap for these games, they somehow can't seem to capture the model's face, but Japanese companies somehow are able to do it, but somehow Western game developers are unable to do that. You have a new Gears of War game coming out, Gears of War E-Day. And here is your technical director, Kate Rayner. Kate Rayner right here, technical director. Tony's Figs, what's going on, buddy? Yes, Soy Boys. Rejoice. Shane says AI is killing the hot chick videos, 100%. And so here is Gears of War, which is a very, very violent game. Very violent game. Gears of War, and the technical director, Kate Rayner. And Kate goes on to tell everybody, colleagues and game industry friends, that there's something special that she needs to get off her chest, and says, I am transgender. This may come as a big surprise. I hope you can trust me in my identity and decision to come out. I would say it probably wasn't a big surprise to most people working at Microsoft. But hey, whatever makes you feel better about your announcement, big announcement. And then we have here, obviously, now in the Gears of War game, of course, we're replacing the guys. Oh, it just writes itself. I mean, I'm sorry. It just writes itself, folks. I mean, and so to wrap up, I am going to give y'all something that you would probably rather see, and that is one of my favorites. And here you go. For your eyes only, fellas. I mean, come on. That ain't no man, baby. Ah, yes. Oh, yes. Gotta love it. I mean, sweet baby Jesus. You know what I mean? Like, come on. It's not even fair. After watching the clip of It's Ma'am, I bring you this. So, Asians holding it down. Will says Japanese always been ahead of the curve on females' physiques in games. Yeah, I mean, and look, it's only women that would complain about females in video games and Japanese takes on how they look, and whether that's exaggerated proportions or not, or the soy boys who are trying to be fifth wave feminist allies, right? I mean, that's literally it. 610 says, why the hell are we surprised anymore by this dumbass agenda? And we're not, right? I mean, that's ultimately at the end of the day, right? We're not surprised anymore, 610. I mean, at this point, you just have to point it out. You kind of have to make fun of it. I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, at this point, you just, and because as much as I think a lot of us thought these things would turn, this tide would turn in the last few years, I mean, we're 10 years plus going on, 15 years plus. And wait till the Odyssey comes out, because Matthew and I will have a lot to talk about the Odyssey and some of the choices that were made in casting, and we'll see whether that affects the movie or not. We'll see whether it affects people going to see it. We'll see whether it makes a difference in the box office. I don't think it's going to be a flop by any means, but some of the casting choices have drawn a lot of controversy, and even the Hollywood trades are starting to report on it and notice it. So that's always a curious thing to look out for. Taking down the empire from within, Eric, I agree 100%. That's been going on for a generation or more, and yeah, and it's worked. Kate Rayner is transgender. Who the hell is Kate Rayner? Exactly. She has good genes. Yes, she does. Our hope for humanity, I agree 100%. Next Sunday's topic decided yet? I'm not sure yet. It depends on if I'm able to go and see a movie. We'll definitely make a decision on or how that affects next Sunday. I will say this. When I get done here, I have to watch Game of Thrones, or House of the Dragon, rather, because I need to go back. I need to be able to talk about that on Tuesday with Matthew, which is what's going to be going down with him on Tuesday night, a little bit anyway. And so we'll see. I don't know. Next Sunday, I gotta figure that out. And I wanted to highlight Eric's really quickly. Eric's comments from earlier. They're trying to teach a new form of English here in California. Yes, and they are succeeding, unfortunately. They are succeeding in New York. And it's interesting with this younger generation and their idea of what socialism means to them, using words to twist things around and make them nicer, to make them sound more appealing to younger people. It's like trying to change the pedo words to maps, minor attracted persons. It's to change the language. If you change the language, you can change people's opinion. You're never going to change that. Pedos are pedos, and they're fucking disgusting. And most of the people out there will agree with that. And you'll never change that. So I'm hoping people understand what socialism and communism is. And, as we see more and more people get voted into office, it's a scary thing. Very scary to watch it happen in other states. And thankfully it hasn't happened here, but I only look to the day that it does. I don't look forward to it. That's for sure. Erickson started with COVID and Airbnb. Yep. And is forced to relocate due to housing shortage. Yep. I'm with you, man. I'm with you 100%. Next topic can be Joe Fest. Next Sunday's topic. Yeah, I think talking about Joe Fest is kind of, we really have kind of, talked it to death, I think. I mean, every stream, everybody's been able to share pictures and stuff and really talk about it. So, Clint, I'm guessing you're joking there, because there's just not a lot more to talk about, Not really. It's so gay. Hot D, slow episodes since Cypher, but a lot of good story development. I enjoyed it. I can't wait. I'm going to be catching up on it as soon as I get done here. And then after that, I'm going to be playing Assassin's Creed Resynced Black Flag, or Black Flag Resynced, which I have been having fun with. I'm about 11 hours in. Loved Black Flag. Great game. Fun game. So the new one looks great. I'm hoping they didn't change a lot of content. We will find out. Sophie, she's all right. Sophie's all right, Eric. Yeah. Let's see. Show the clip if Lord of the Rings was casted today. Oh, gosh. I don't know if I have it. I don't think I have it on hand. If I can find it, I will show it next week. I probably have to save it. Clint crying emoji. Man, Clint, I'm telling you, man, stream after stream has been a Joe Fest, love fest, right? And I just don't know what more I can add to it, 16 Yojo Daddy says, I've been in love with Sophie since my daughter's recruitment visit to Missouri. Oh, okay. All right. Do tell. Jay Gonzo, what the HE double hockey sticks is going on with you? Gosh, all of my good videos. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Come on. We're not done yet. All right. I gotta play this one. I just gotta play. This is one of my favorites. The audio, it is difficult. Okay, it is difficult because it's an old tape. This is from E-Bomb's World. Do you remember E-Bomb's World? You guys remember E-Bomb's World? I know you do. Okay, so I will play this video. I hope you guys can hear it. The audio is difficult because it's cut from a tape. So it's old school. So it's got a lot of hiss in the background. But I'll never forget seeing this episode of wrestling. And when the conversation about wrestling was that wrestling was fake. And that, all was coming out. It's like, it's entertainment, right? It's not real, right? And this poor fella got the mic on this daytime talk show, and here's what he had to say.
Next question, Jeff, where are you? Right there.
Yeah. I just want to thank each and every one of y'all for all you've done to your bodies. It's still real to me, damn it. I mean, thank you.
Take it easy, man.
Y'all guys. Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Funk, for saying what needed to be said. I don't want to see another one of these.
I can't remember what this is from. I thought it was from like Maury Povich. It's some backyard. It's fucking like a school gymnasium. All right, one more time. When Terry Funk goes, take it easy, man. It's just like, lose it. It's real to me.
Next question, Jeff, where are you? Right there.
Yeah. I just want to thank each and every one of y'all for all you've done to your bodies. It's still real to me, damn it. I mean, thank you.
Take it easy, man.
Y'all guys. Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Funk, for saying what needed to be said. I don't want to see another one of these. Well, thank you.
Oh, God. It's still real to me, damn it. He will be a legend forever. Oh, God, I love it. Clint says, Brick and Minifigs update for Stanley. American Fork Police. Whoa. They make sure those spindles are shorter than 2 inches. American Fork Police Chief is married to the AF employee that redacts all the police footage. Oh, American Fork. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. I fear that the poor person whose money, shit is like gone from consignment, right? Like they just took over the contract and everything. I fear that poor person is not going to get shit. It's just not going to get shit. It is a shame. It is a shame. As much as it's a shame of this footage from Philadelphia, July 4th weekend, ladies and gentlemen, it's pure madness. Holy moly. Just your average backyard barbecue. Just your average backyard barbecue. Holy shit. Did they get their money back? I don't know. I figured nothing was going to happen. I didn't figure they would. But I haven't been keeping up with that story because I'm not a Legos and the bricks and minifig stores and all this. It's not something that interests me, to be quite honest with you. But I know some people have been. I did find this, and this I think of Shane when I see this video. I hate Instagram because like you can't turn the volume up and down on their videos. Like there's like no way to do it. But I do want to share this because I did think this was pretty fun. What men actually want is just one thing, and it's just go-karts. Like, this looks like a blast, doesn't it? I mean, seriously, like that looks absolutely fun. I mean, look at that shit. That could be all of us at Joe Fest. We could all be out there doing this shit right here somewhere in Augusta. Although, we might get shot. Gotta be careful in Augusta, all right? Gotta be careful. Emotional damage. These new fireworks are pretty wild. But this looks like this looks like fun, right? I mean, this is like some fun shit. I would absolutely love to do that. I mean, yeah, someone would need a hospital, I imagine. Probably would. Not gonna get away without a hospital visit for somebody. And to be quite honest with you, it would probably be me. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it literally would probably be me. Who did win Miss Italy? I don't know. I do not know. I would like to know though. How do you find your saved? How do you find your saved shit in Instagram? Like, how you save reels and stuff like that? How do you find that shit? Where do you find that stuff? I never use... Oh, there we go. Saved. All right. Yeah, see, I never, ever, ever, ever use Instagram the way you guys do. Here, I'll give you some more great... wonderful footage, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I mean, look, she may very well save America, and this should have been the face that launched 1,000 ships in the Odyssey. Okay, not Lupita Nyong'o. This should have been the face that launched 1,000 ships. Instead, Christopher Nolan was being clever and thought that he would subvert expectations. And it's a damn shame. So, anyway, there you go, fellas. I give you Sydney. Anyway, all right, I'm going to get out of here. I got to watch Hot D. Got to get that Hot D. Get some of that Hot D one time. Ooh. And if you were able to give some Hot D out there, guys, please give some Hot D as much as you can. I will be back on Tuesday with Matthew, as you guys know, right here. Same bat time, 9 p.m. Central. Almost same bat time, but same bat channel with Matthew. So if you guys aren't doing anything, you want to come back, hang out Tuesday night, we'll probably have some stuff to talk about, I'm sure. And good luck getting a ticket for Spider-Man opening weekend. I would love to be able to talk about it on the Tuesday night stream after July 31st, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Might not be able to see the movie. And then with the Odyssey and Shane, slide on back, rewind it from the beginning. Yeah, you'll dig it. Appreciate it, brother. But yeah, so the Odyssey, can't wait to watch it. Can't get an IMAX ticket for that either first weekend. Possibly second. So if you want to see it, you might have to see it in 2D, unless you really want to spend the 30 plus bucks for the IMAX ticket. Holy crap. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to boogie. Y'all have a fantastic evening. I know it's late, and I'll see y'all on Tuesday. And let's see here. You know I got to play it. I just got to find it. There he is. All right. Couple more comments really quickly. Might be worth IMAX. Absolutely. Cypher63, you have a great night. Hey, thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me tonight. And I will see y'all soon on, I guess, Tuesday.
So long, gay boys!